But you didn't have to come here if you didn't want to.
No, not if I didn't mind being left to beg alms by the city gate. I had one choice, the monastery or nothing. If it had come to that after my father's death, so be it. But to get rid of me while he's still alive...
They must have realized you robbed them.
I donated some of the silver to the monastery when I came in, just to piss them off. I can just see my brothers, my siblings, arguing with the abbot to give it back.
And you stashed away the remainder?
Indeed so.
What about the dagger?
What about the dagger?
That's a memento of better times. Father gave me that when I was a little lad. And it's done right by me more than once, when I got drunk somewhere with the wrong sort of people.
Do you know how to fight?
And how? Boozing and brawling. God, how I miss that here.
Receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay.
What's your plan with this treasure?
To get out of here as soon as I can. I'll wait another year or two until my hot-headed brothers cool off a bit, and then I'll take the silver and run off somewhere, far, far away from here.
So he's pious? Once someone of mine taking my time, tell me more about the book.
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Ah, prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
Not for nothing.
You're right. Knowledge should never be prohibited.
I'm glad you agree. Just take a look at the book. Maybe you'll be able to make some sense of it. I haven't grasped a single syllable. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and who knows what it means.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicada would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite...
Ah, prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any...
Okay, you're just repeating things now.
Just...
but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds.
I'll leave you be.
Thank you. And please, Gregor, don't mention it to anyone.
And should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him not shut his eyes to the faults of offenders, but...
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. Tell me about Antonius.
Oh, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with of course the exception of myself, it would be Antonius. He has a calm soul, he's easy to talk to, and you can always rely on him.
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many times to talk to him, but he always backs away like a virgin on a wedding night.
That's all.
Beat your son with the rod.
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
What do you think about the other novices?
Simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable.
I hear you.
Who sees that his heart is murmuring.
I was talking last night with the brother Cicators. It seems you're to fetch them a cask of wine, like last time.
Well, yes, it's true.
Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience.
I'd like to help you.
This is the virtue of those
Would you really do it? To get hold of the wine, we'll have to leave the monastery for a bit. I know it's forbidden, but we've no other option. If wine started going missing here, someone would notice. But to leave the monastery, we need the keys. And only the prior has those.
Wait a moment. Are you saying I'm supposed to steal the prior's keys so I can go and steal wine somewhere else?
You see why I don't want to do it myself now, do you? I don't have what it takes. I can't get those keys, but you could. Or you might be able to pick the locks.
But you've done it once before, haven't you?
Last time the prior was sick, and he left the monastery keys in the Circator's care. So they unlocked the gates for me. This time we'll have to steal the keys.
who sees that his heart is murmuring.
How can I get hold of the keys, do you think?
I don't know, but it might be possible to do this without them. Brother Celarius, the cellar keeper, used to be a burglar. He knows his way around locks, and maybe could help us, if you could find a way to arrange it.
Do you think he'll want to take part in theft?
No, but he could give some advice, or maybe get some lockpicks to open the gate. You'll figure something out.
If you think so, I can try.
Once you have the key or some lockpicks, come and see me and we'll make our plan.
I have the key.
About those keys.
Did you get them? Keys? Or at least lockpicks?
Yes, I have them.
In that case, come before midnight to the cloister garden. I'll be waiting for you there, and we'll head off.
When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about 4.
Who would you vote for as the new abbot if you could?
Why do you care? We don't have the right to vote, so we shouldn't get mixed up in it.
I'm just interested, that's all.
I like John better. But like I've said, it's not our place to get involved. It's enough that Antonius is mixed up in it. Don't you start too.
Let none ere be said rather early.
I'm interested in the other novices.
And let them again do what work has to be done.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Weak or sickly
Oh,
brethren should be
he's always got a smile on the new friend. But I reckon he don't belong in the monastery. He spends more time dreaming of the world outside than tending to his duties. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out already. If it was up to me, he'd be out on his ear right away.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul.
You don't think
The brethren should be
much of him, do you?
Sounds like you don't have much time for him.
and again.
No, I don't. He isn't a proper monk and he doesn't belong here.
We think that the times for each may be prescribed as follows.
Do you know anything about Antonius?
Easter until the
Only that he came to the monastery voluntarily, because he didn't want to work in his father's shop.
at whatever is
Antonius is all right. You can rely on him. He won't betray your confidence. He's always happy to help, which is more than can be said for the other brothers.
after the 6th hour having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence.
I'm interested in Lucas.
Perhaps want to read
Nobody knows much about Lucas.
such a way
He keeps himself to himself.
anyone else.
If you ask me, he's got something to hide. I'd keep well clear of him if I was you.
Do you have any grounds for suspecting him of something?
Quite a lot.
Weak or sickly
And also
brethren
none at all.
be assigned a task
The Circators who make the rounds despise him, and they never punish anyone without cause.
not to overburden them or drive them Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
Guard my ways, that I may
I know. I saw you at the ceremony.
regard to
My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
That means you get to leave the monastery.
No, not at all. I just write lists and send them out.
punishment for sin make us avoid evil.
Tell me about yourself.
Therefore, since
I'm the provost of this monastery. It's my job to ensure the monks live a humble life and that any surpluses go to the poor. But in reality, I spend all my time making sure my brother's gluttony and the construction of a new church don't swallow up the few resources we have left.
and in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason,
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words or words that move to love,
I'm interested in the election of the new abbot.
You're not alone. Everyone's so worked up about that they spent no time considering how they could make the monastery a better place now.
Why? What's wrong with it now?
the rule of Saint Benedict,
Many brothers think more about their stomachs than prayer.
degree of humility,
The older brethren bend the rules of the order to make them fit their interests.
those who hold nothing
So, to balance the scales, they want the novices to lead exemplary lives.
they have professed,
Sin abounds here, just as in the outside world.
everlasting. As soon as anything has been ordered by the superior,
What sins are you talking about?
divine command,
The scripture says, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." I'm sorry, Gregor, it's not my place to speak about the sins of others.
if what is commanded is done without hesitation.
Can you tell me about Abbot Peter?
Warmness,
Peter's wise in the ways of politics and a good shepherd, but as you've already heard, he's old and infirm. The other brothers see him with one foot in the grave, but I still have hope for him. But you, brother, don't let yourself get involved in the games of your superiors. Could you help me with something?
With what?
who sees that his heart is murmuring,
I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment.
will incur the
With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
Saint Benedict.
You can count on me, bro. What do you
Idleness
need me for?
soul. Therefore,
What do you need me for?
be occupied at certain times and
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken.
and we think that the
Now you know, most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure
Facts.
for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the libri prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
let him read to himself in such
Why are they
Why are
forbidden?
they forbidden?
disturb anyone else.
Because they contain occult and demonic practices, witchcraft and all manner of evil. Or so some people claim. It's nonsense, of course. This is nothing but a book of medicine, albeit one written by a pagan. Ibn Sina, also known as Avicenna, is universally acknowledged to be a wise man. But here, at some point, someone decided his book is the work of a Saracen devil and must be kept under lock and key. Since then, no one can even talk about the book. But the three wise men were from the East, were they not?
Nothing dearer to them than Christ, who
Where can I find it?
service they have professed, and
In the library, there's a large cabinet with a lock on it. The forbidden books are inside. You'll easily recognize what you're looking for. The cover has not only a Latin inscription, but also Saracen letters. Bring it to me, but leave the other books there. No one will notice if one book disappears, but if more were to vanish, someone would certainly begin to look into it, which is exactly what we don't want.
obedience given to superiors is given to God.
Is there anything you can tell me that would help?
There's a key to the cabinet in the prior's chambers. The librarian should have another one, or you can acquire some lockpicks. But I can't tell you where or how. Perhaps Brother Celerius could help.
And far from gaining a reward for such work as this,
Why can't you do it yourself?
the punishment due to
Because I'm one of the highest ranking monks here, and one day I'd like to become abbot. Can you imagine me crawling around in the black of night searching for a forbidden book?
You could just ask for it.
Do you honestly think I haven't tried? Unfortunately, Librarian Cyril is a stubborn ass.
I'm ready.
One more important thing. There's always someone in the library during the day. To pass unwatched, you'll need to go at night. It's locked, but I'm sure you'll manage to get in. They say Brother Solarius understands locks, but don't tell him why you need it. Once you have the book, bring it to me, and I'll then use it to make Peter's medicine. We'll soon have the election of the abbot over and done with.
Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such
All right, you guys have to follow the rules and do all this extra stuff. But you know, can you like break the rules real quick? You know, even Neverless wants me to break the rules, but I'm like, going to work phylactery. But I feel like Neverless is like the most honorable one. Okay, gonna do my duties.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Here for my daily duties.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today it's your task to concoct 2 potions to aid digestion. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
I don't even know what I need yet, so indigestion. Okay. It's not it. Digestive. Yeah.
Someone really reeked at Matted.
Stuff.
You're right. It stunk like a wine barrel in there, and it's not the first time. It's a mystery, but one that will soon be solved. It's a wonder the prior doesn't check everyone's breath. Things will get worse. Then he'd soon get his man. I can feel it in my joints.
Those are things you say.
My joints started aching just before they raised scallops.
Blood
And now they
pressure.
hurt again, but worse than last time. I tell you, something is going to happen out there.
You might be wrong, and besides, God will be our protector.
Need 2 climbing chamomile and 1 mint. Chamomile. Ooh. And those mints, right? Oh. Sweet. Alright, got that. Let's make this strong. Potion if you have overeaten or overindulged in alcohol or stuffed yourself like a pig at table and down rivers of wine. Try taking this potion to soothe the stomach and remember next time that he who eats modestly lives long. You will need spirit, a handful of mint, and 2 of chamomile. Grind the chamomile, drop everything in the cauldron and boil for 1 turn. Okay. Okay, need spirit. Okay, let's read it one more time. says you need to grind the chamomile. Put everything in the cauldron. Okay. Wait. Drop everything in the cauldron and boil for 1/3. Okay, cool. I'm gonna grind this shit up first. Chamomile. Yeah, I feel like Pius is Antonius because out of all the other people, he's the only one that's like came here voluntarily. The other dude, Mill, sounds like he could be too, but I don't know. Ah, wait, yes, sir. Being a monk
Peace
is
be with you, brother.
well, sounds kind of
What do you
sweet,
desire, Brother Gregor?
but for content purposes, this is not
I've
bad.
finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
Thank you. Do I make another one?
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
Sir.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I deny.
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next time you'll be punished just like everyone else.
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
I know. I saw you in the church during ceremony. I have the feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm the circator.
What does that mean?
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything's the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
Shit was fucking stupid, bro. Just 4 seconds into the jump, and then this nigga's like, like, bro, what? I am going to the place I'm supposed to be, you dick. But whatever.
What is it, brother?
I'm here for daily duties. Reading books. Did I see book of medicine? Did you know that the pages?
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Do you want me to put book back together?
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Alright.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Sorry. Wait. See, don't. See, don't dominate. Huh. That unleashed dominate. They're they're all like that. I don't know which one. This one says Dominus. Oh, okay. Dominus. Yeah. He's like, this shit is ass. I know this shit's gonna be wrong, bro. I just know it. Henry doesn't eat either.
Oh, this is quite inexcusable, boy. Can you even read?
Yeah. Bet.
Peace be with you. Get away from that cabinet. What's stored there aren't for your eyes to see.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I already read
Are you
that.
interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget about them.
Okay.
I'm a new brother, a novice, Gregor. I don't know my way around here yet. You're in charge of the whole monastery, aren't you?
Welcome amongst us. Yes, yes. The Lord wanted me to take over the abbot's duties in his absence, but mainly I'm a servant of God, just like you and all the other brethren. Before God, there's no difference between us. How do you like it here?
Don't know you haven't been here that long. It's wonderful.
It's wonderful here.
I'm glad to hear it. May your enthusiasm last.
I found some things in it. Worth the next time of drinking.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Abbot Peter is the administrator of the monastery, but you won't see him. He's always traveling, and on top of that, he's old and infirm. Perhaps the good Lord will bless him.
And what happens when the old abbot dies?
Then we elect a new one.
Will you tell me something about how the abbot is elected?
Of course. Abbot Peter is old, and we're afraid he'll soon be with our Heavenly Father. When he's gone, someone else will have to lead the monastery. All the elder brothers will assemble to choose who that is.
Anyone can become the abbot.
Precisely. We have two candidates, Nevlas and John. As the spiritual shepherd of all of the brothers here, I'm not allowed to publicly express a preference for either. And as a novice, you shouldn't be involved in the election. I know that some brothers have already begun scheming, but don't even think about getting mixed up in it. With the blessing of the Holy Spirit, all will end up as it should be.
Go to church for prayer. Or why can't I sit down and eat, bro?
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching.
This is
That
so
is to
fucking
say,
stupid, bro.
he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his
Hmm.
words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience. And let him
Settle down a bit around here now.
You mean after the Tomberg attack on the brigands' secret camp? I wouldn't expect too much of it.
No. Why's that?
There was only a handful of bandits there.
A handful?
But I still reckon we haven't seen the last of
Wow.
it. That Sigismund is still on the rampage, attacking the nobles one by one across the land. And brigands are like weeds. Burn them down and they just sprout up somewhere else. That's not the half of it. What about the attack on Merhoyet? While the lords are dealing with one lot of marauders in Pribyslavitz, there's another bunch pillaging somewhere else. There'll be no peace as long as Sigismund goes on ransacking Bohemia, sure as the sun circles the earth.
So that's
Had a love
the
for fellow spirits.
wait, what? In case of food poisoning.
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy.
What?
He was lost and miserable.
What?
He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing
How
some
long ago?
foolish things. But he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden, the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
Wait, what? Yeah, I'm confused, bro.
I think I understand you. But the beast would need to know what deal he's being offered.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhof. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhof made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery, I've had plenty of time to think things over. But then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace, and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
You're right. But the people who sent me will find out if I don't kill you.
They won't if we're clever about it. No one has to die. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Do you mean these keys?
What? I'm not going to ask you how you got your hands on those, you devious lad.
And where am I supposed...
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it. All the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list. And when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
All right, that's it.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything. And Gregor. God be with you.
Nigga poisoned me, bro. Yeah, I knew it was Antonius. He's the only one that volunteered to come. Where should I go? Here's the bedroom.
Be well.
Hell yeah. Hopefully he has the key. What? Nigga doesn't have the key to this. It sucks. That shit's too difficult. So yeah, nigga, you. Oh wait. Yeah, that nigga eat ass, bro. I can't return all this stuff to you. I haven't really been doing stuff shit like that. Any parchment paper here?
Talk to me, brother.
What does you think of?
Here I am.
Just in time to manage it all. Once we're outside, we'll need to be careful and we'll need to be quick. If we're not back before sunrise, someone will realize we've gone, and there'll be hell to pay.
Where exactly are we going for the wine?
Next to the monastery is the house of the custodian, a baron who provides military protection to the monastery. We'll take the wine from him.
Alright, cool. Why make it so complicated?
Why go to all that trouble? Aren't the monastery wine cellars full?
They are, but Brother Solarius keeps records of all the casks, and the prior checks them. They'd investigate if any went missing. Whereas, if someone outside loses the odd cask, they're not going to suspect us monks.
That does sound reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that once we're there? Will we need to break into the custodian's cellar?
We needn't break in anywhere. It's on the ground floor and usually unlocked. It holds supplies for the whole craftsman's yard, and every now and again, someone comes in to fetch something. The only thing we have to make sure is that nobody sees us.
What particular wine are the cicadas after?
They want some Znojmo wine. But there's no way we'll be able to tell what's what. We'll just grab a cask and head off. I doubt the custodian would have anything of poor quality in his cellar.
The brothers will complain.
They'll complain even more if they've nothing to drink at all.
I'm ready. We can head off.
All right. You have the outside keys, so get unlocking.
I was gonna say, I'm wearing a big white John. This man does this shit each and every night. That's crazy. This is actually lit though.
Praise be to Christ, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're a fine fellow. Show us what you've been hiding.
Turnipy nose with just the slightest hint of rat droppings. Not too lardy like the last one. Nice sharp elbows. It's not Olomouc, nor Znojmo either. But as John says, drinkable enough. Thank you, brothers. And now sit down and share a cup with us. What troubles you?
Let's drink.
That's the idea. And what...
How about to the
abbot?
To Abbot...
That's more like...
What's there left to drink to?
To our fresh young novices, our swift steeds, and our boundless cellars.
You and your novices, you old pervert. A toast to our future abbot.
I'll drink to that. So, to John, the future abbot, and a pox on Nevlis.
That killjoy? He'd love to have us all under his thumb. Fat chance.
Don't worry. Those youngsters will wise up once they hear all about him.
Will they believe it?
Even if just 2 or 3 of them do, it'll help us. So, to Abbot John.
To Abbot John. Praise be to Christ.
Let's drink. How about
to the abbot it is.
To Abbot John.
That's more like it.
I'll be going, brothers. It's been good to sit with you a while.
Do us a favor, brother. Stay a little longer and have another drink with us. Here, some wine for you.
Oh, all right. But that's the last cup.
And twist it. Nah, I can't do the other job. Okay.
Praise be to Christ.
Here's the
book you wanted.
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
I'd like to know about the background of the other man.
I'd be interested in finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says. I said, I will guard my ways, that I may not